Just ahead on Crossroads, we're taking to the sky an antique aircraft and meeting people with a passion for flying, driving, and serving.
Leanna Smith from the Rescue Mission tells how the program is changing lives year-round.
Meet the owner of the 1939 Spartan aircraft and see what classic flying is all about.
And we take our cameras high above Grant County. It's all next on Crossroads.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to season 15 on Crossroads. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Michaela Woodfork.
A new face on Crossroads. Michaela Woodfork, you may be seen on Wildcat Week and doing some other things with us. You're a senior?
Yes.
Right? Media
senior.
comm major?
Yes, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Well, we've seen you doing different things. We said, hey, why don't you come over here and do some Crossroads?
Yeah, and I was like, I think I will.
Well, this is your first time at the Fly-In Cruise In. I know you've been walking around. What do you think?
I think it's absolutely amazing. I love all these planes and old cars. Oh, I'm like in heaven.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that you've had fun. I noticed that you didn't eat pancakes.
Yeah, I'm not a big pancake fan.
Yeah. But that's okay. It's really exciting for us because we're starting season 15 of that, and I don't know if every single show we've made it out here, but I think out of those 15 years, we maybe made it to the Fly-In Cruise In 13 years as our very first episode.
That's really good.
So that is fantastic, and
Yeah.
we're happy to be having there. You know, it is, as you've already seen, a busy Saturday morning at the airport.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out, it all starts for many people with breakfast.
Yeah, this time the people serving have more to do than just pile up pancakes. Annika Peterson found out why the people serve with Thanksgiving.
They're out before sunrise, getting everything ready before the hungry crowds arrive. It's Marion Airport's 29th time hosting the Fly-In Cruise In event, and like always, the volunteers are hard at work to make this year a success.
Our first goal was to, well, this sounds terrible, but the first thing was for me to get out of bed because I'm not a morning person, but because it was for the homeless, I popped right up. And then we all joined in prayer this morning, and that was the best thing, and just asking the Lord to bless it. And he totally has, because there's been so many people here, so many volunteers. So I've been serving sausage, and then I'm over here helping with the seconds, giving out smiles, pancakes, and sausages to all the people.
Just joining us, there is a no line here for the pancakes. Back here behind us, the B-bomber.
They're here for the whole experience, for the spectacle of vintage cars and airplanes, for stacks of pancakes, and for the chance to contribute towards the community through the Grant County Rescue Mission.
It's a place that really changes people's lives. It gives them a real opportunity to transform and make a difference in their own lives and then out in the community. So it's just, they're a special bunch of people who really care about our community and the people that need help, and we certainly want to support those guys.
It feels really good because they don't have anything and we're giving money to them to help them.
Whether they volunteered through church, work, school, or just on their own, every helper shared the same joyful spirit.
We had to fill syrup bottles. We picked up trash. We made sure that people were taken care of with like seconds. And then we gave out some drinks, and we are picking up people's plates. Just to do anything that anybody needs.
Everyone's hard work paid off, more so in fact, than they could have anticipated.
First year they said it went so smoothly and couldn't be more blessed.
You know, I think I've heard the word thank you at least 5 times before we even got started, so they are really grateful for our support and help too.
Just like every year, the Fly-In Cruise In event showcased the best of Grant County. Not just the vintage cars and planes, but the people who came together to serve. For Crossroads, I'm Annika Peterson.
Wow, it's so amazing and refreshing to just see that people love to just volunteer and serve other people.
Yeah, I've been here very early like that and done the volunteer piece. This year, the cool one, as you saw in there, was some of these are folks who really turned their lives around because of the Grant County Rescue Mission.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I didn't eat any pancakes and get served, but
I was going
watched
to say,
others.
how can you do that? How can you sit in
I
there
observe
with hundreds of pancakes flying by and you don't So you love the concept of breakfast for other people.
Yeah, exactly.
I
you
get
know,
that.
I lived through them.
You're missing that. Well, we are going to be here for the entire show, and when we come back, Leanna Smith from the Grant County Rescue Mission will tell us how your support changes lives today and all year long.
Well, welcome back to Crossroads. We're on location at Marion Airport.
Yeah, and one of our favorite people here is Leanna Smith from the Grant County Rescue Mission. A little bit earlier in the show, you met some of the volunteers from the Rescue Mission, and this is their first year to be part of that. Fantastic. Isn't it a great event?
It's a lot of fun. It's definitely the event that takes the most work, but it's so rewarding. We love it.
We want to get a quick update on Rick Burberrier. He's been having some health problems, your executive director. Give us an update.
Yeah, so he had cellulitis earlier this week and went to the hospital and has been battling a septic infection. I know. He is so sad to miss today, but he did get to go home from the hospital last night, so he's home, he's recovering. But I know he's sad to not be here today.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's important. So what made you guys get involved in this event?
Well, actually, so this event has been Gilead's in the past, the last 3 years, and they knew they didn't want to renew for another 3-year contract, and so they approached Rick and said, hey, would you be interested in taking this event over? Because we do so much food preparation and food handling, and it just seemed like a really natural fit, and we said, yes, we would love to. You don't have to ask us twice. And so they approached the Flying Cruising Board and said, what do you think about the rescue mission taking this? And it's history from there. Here we are. Last year we co-hosted with them and partnered to learn the ropes. And this year it's just us.
Well, you got the folks serving, and we've done stories over the years with the rescue mission, and you know, everyone has a story. What's the latest story at the rescue mission? Not names, but just what's the momentum and what kinds of lives are you changing?
Yeah, we actually just celebrated 3 program graduates in July, Brandon, Stephen, and Billy. And they had committed to our Life Change program, and it's an 8-month-long program. So for 8 months, we asked them not to have a job. They stay at the mission. They're doing coursework all through. It's very similar to a college class schedule. So pretty frequently. And then there's homework and additional counseling and things like that takes place outside of the class hours. And they just graduated in July, and we'll have another graduation in September. And we'll have our first female graduate in September. They just started their Life Change program in February this year. So Lindsay graduates next month, and we'll have a few guys graduating as well.
That's what it's all about.
We're so excited for them. I mean, they've just worked so hard in their recovery, and to see who they are now, and even their posture, that they'll look you in the eyes. Whereas before, when they first come to the mission, a lot of times they just feel so much shame about whatever it is that has brought them here, about not having a home and not having a job or whatever the case might be. And just to see how they've blossomed over the last 8 months is pretty incredible.
So what made you specifically get involved with the mission?
You know, I was a volunteer and a donor, and I came in and wanted a tour, and Ray Raines, who was the interim director at the time, said, are you looking for a job? And I actually was. That's not why I was there, but I had been job hunting, and I don't have experience in development or event planning. I come from an HR background, and they were willing to take a chance.
Well, you're a great representative. We'd love to have Rick back with us, but what a testimony to being out here and some of your folks actually serving those pancakes and saying, look, you know, this is what the rescue mission does. I'm glad that you guys are here, and it's a great metaphor, I think, the fly in, cruise in, reach for the skies, and you're trying to tell people to do that. Thank you, Leanna Smith. And don't go away. We are still at the cruise in all day. When we come back, we get up close and personal with history.
You get to meet the owner who restored this rare aircraft with a little bit of polish. Keep it here. Well, welcome back to Crossroads. I'm Michaela Woodfork here with Jim Savage at Marion Airport. And Jim's here to just tell us a little bit about his awesome plane standing behind us. So tell me, Jim, when was this built?
Well, this is a 1939 Spartan Executive. It was built in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a rather rare airplane. Only 34 were made. Miraculously, 20 have survived the 80 years that they've been out there, although not all 20 still fly. Probably a handful are still being actively flown, although active being a rather subjective term, some of them only fly once or twice a year. This particular one flies rather frequently. I get to events like this whenever the opportunity presents itself, and I'm pleased to be here.
That's amazing. So what exactly was this plane built for in the beginning?
Well, this airplane actually has an interesting history. As you look at it, it looks far different than most airplanes from 1939. In 1939, airplanes were typically built of fabric, cotton fabric with a dope and paint covering. This was made out of aluminum. It was built by a small company called Spartan Aircraft Company, and the owner of the company was John Paul Getty. John Paul Getty at the time was the richest man in the world, and Tulsa was the oil capital of the world. John Paul Getty was actually building these for his oil executive friends, and that's why there are so few that were built at that time.
Awesome. So tell me about some of the awards and things you've won.
Well, this airplane, because it is so rare, ends up being a featured airplane at most of the places that it goes. It's been shown at major vintage aircraft events. One is Oshkosh, Wisconsin. They have 10,000 airplanes go there every summer for 7 or 8 days. This past summer, this airplane has won its third award at Oshkosh. The most recent one at Oshkosh was the Reserve Grand Champion for the antique category. It's a rather prestigious award. Typically on Labor Day weekends, I would show the airplane at another event in Blakesburg, Iowa, and it has won multiple awards there. The most recent one being Grand Champion at Blakesburg. Simply stated, each time the airplane's been judged, it's won, so it is something that appeals to not only the spectators, but to the judges as well. This past year when I ended up showing the airplane, it looks a little different than it has in the past. It started off as a corporate aircraft, but it also served in the military. While most airplanes in the late 30s had speeds around 100 miles an hour. If you had an airliner, maybe 120 miles per hour. This airplane is capable of speeds of close to 200 miles per hour.
Wow.
So at the start of the war, it was as fast as a lot of the military aircraft. And this one was acquired by the British Royal Air Force. They actually acquired it a year before Pearl Harbor because they were already involved in the war. They used it as an advanced trainer for 3 years. And then after that, they used it just as a light transport where it served with the RAF Ferry Command. This year I chose to show it in its Royal Air Force markings. And actually this event is only the second time it's been seen with those markings. But it actually has legitimate military service. And of the Spartan executives that served with the RAF, there were 4 in total. This is the only surviving aircraft that is still in flyable condition from that particular conflict.
Wow, that is amazing. So tell me about some of the details on the plane. Where did it get its name from?
Well, the name of the company was Spartan Aircraft. I do not know how they ended up with that name. This airplane, if you look at it, it's anything but Spartan. It's rather luxurious. The executive technically is not the name of the airplane. It's a Spartan 7W. The 7 meaning it was the 7th series of airplanes produced by Spartan Aircraft. They had been in business since the mid-20s. And the W represented the Wasp engine that's in it. It's a Pratt & Whitney Wasp Junior engine. So it's technically a 7W. But after they built the prototype, the production manager's wife was looking at the airplane and knew that it was going to be used to haul corporate executives, and she labeled it as the Spartan Executive. They went and put the logo on it, and it's been known as a Spartan Executive ever since.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Well, thank you so much, Jim, for telling us about your plane. Well, when we come back, we'll take a ride on a piece of aviation history.
Well, welcome back to Crossroads, still on location at the 29th annual Fly-In Cruise-In, and number 1 for Michaela Woodfork.
Yes, and I'm super excited to be here, seeing all of the cars and planes and the people. There is so many people out here.
You know, one of the things that I've often envied when I've come is there's all these planes, and I don't get to fly.
Well, I got to fly.
You
the
did.
other day. Yes.
You did.
And I was a little nervous at first, but we got up there and I was like, wow, this is really amazing.
Yeah, and a classic aircraft. The director, Ray Johnson, the founder of this, does a fantastic job of giving the media kind of a sneak preview. And a little bit earlier this week, the media, including our cameras, went along high above Grant County.
It's a 1928 Ford Trimotor. Of course, it was built in 1928, and it was the first airplane that was actually built specifically to haul passengers. Prior to this airplane, people rode in like mail planes, and they were built of fabric and tube. And Henry Ford decided to have this one built so he could haul passengers. Well, it's really fast for 1928. It's 80 miles an hour. And so at that time, though, that was really spectacularly fast, and Henry designed it and created the business to fly coast to coast, or at least to travel from coast to coast in 48 hours, where prior to this airplane, it would have taken a good week. It's a very, very faithful restoration. One of the design criteria that Henry had was to make it look like something that people with money would have been familiar to travel in. And of course, at that time, train was the primary mass travel vehicle. And so if you look on the inside and even the outside, it looks a lot like a train. But I'll tell you what, it's just as much fun to ride in, and any seat is great. You get a choice between an aisle or a window anytime.
Yeah, that was really amazing. I was really glad I got to go up there. Like I said, I was a little nervous, but seeing just Marion, I never thought I'd see Marion from that point of view.
Oh yeah, and you see Annika Peterson, our producer, was in there. Who else was on the trip?
Nathan Johnson, Paul Chris, Russ was in there.
Russ Clark, our other producer, our main producer. And so everybody except me got to fly this time, is what it comes down to.
Pretty much, but I don't know if you would have liked it.
I would have, but you think I'm old, I can't handle an adventure?
I mean, I didn't say anything.
She didn't answer that, yeah. Beautiful point of view, and you had great weather, and thanks to Ray Johnson for doing that. And it's a fun time. So we say every year, I want to say it again, there's still people in Grant County who haven't been to this thing. They hear about it every year. Go see the Flying Cruising, right? First timer?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. May not, and you could even sometimes fly in those classic aircraft. You can do that. Well, we'll wrap it up from the Marion Airport Fly-In Cruise-In and our season 15 debut. If you do have stories for ideas for Crossroads at places you'd like us to come during this fall, come email us at crossroads@nwest.edu. It's crossroads, INDWES.edu, or send us a letter or a postcard to Crossroads, 4201 South Washington Street, Marion, Indiana, 46953.
And to keep up with what we are and what's going on, visit our Facebook page and like us at facebook.com/WIWUTV, or follow us on Twitter at WIWUTV. And the best place to see our latest videos is by subscribing to YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/WIWUTV51. And you can get updates whenever something new is posted. And that's available on mobile devices, computers, and smart TVs.
And so there we go. Season 15 of Crossroads is underway, and we say often, like we said to Michaela, if you've never been to the Fly-In Cruise-In, you should go, right? You can
Absolutely. Definitely recommend it.
Weekend, Labor Day weekend, and it's a good time. And I'm excited because we're going to see you on Crossroads some more.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to be back.
Well, I can think of lots of things that you need to go see for the first time.
Really?
Mississinawa 1812?
What? I've never heard that.
Oh, well, you got to learn about Mississinawa 1812, and that's coming up in lots of other fall things. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be Crossroads, and you're going to be a big part of it. And we may see some other faces here. We got some other folks that are going to be on camera a little bit, and that's going to be fun, too.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the season.
Great.
Well, for everyone who's been with us this show, I'm Michaela Woodfork.
And I'm Randall King. As we always say, the Crossroads of Life bring people together, and that's what we try to do here each week. And we thank you so much for watching.